My love for birds started very young, actually, when I was a kid, at about the same time that my love for photography was also building, and those two things went together a lot of times. When I was a kid, actually grew up here in Lexington while my parents both worked at UK, and didn't have a lot to take pictures of around the house, around the neighborhood, so I would take pictures of the animals and the birds. Pigeon racing dates back many hundreds of years, actually. The concept is that the pigeon fanciers are using the natural abilities of the birds, their homing instinct, and we see whose birds can get home fastest from a predetermined starting point, usually hundreds of miles away. So they have a natural instinct to come home. We drive them to a distance, could be 100 miles, it could be 500 miles. And we release all the birds at the same time and they all come home. But we know using GPS coordinates the release point and the destination point for every bird. And we also know the release time and the arrival time. And then we just do the math and we can see whose bird actually flew the fastest on average during the trip. They can go pretty fast. They can go, depending on the winds, if they have a good tailwind, they can go 60 miles an hour. Typically though, maybe 40 miles an hour. So when I train my birds, I drive them so many miles away and then I'm driving home, and it's not uncommon for me to look out my window and I see my birds with me following, and I can just look out the window and see them, and they're staying with me pretty much. And then they'll break off and I'll lose them, but they're pretty fast. These pigeons are athletes, and they're a different breed of pigeons than we see on the streets, the common feral pigeons. There are also some fancy breeds that have really intricate tails and feathers and all kinds of weird mutations is what they are. But these are athletes, and there are a lot of parallels to horse racing, honestly. They are pedigreed. We breed for athleticism and homing instinct, and they can have a lot of value too. I think because of the unique nature of the fact that I'm a professional photographer and have the birds, there's not a lot of people who can say that. Very, very few people in the world, I think. My goal with taking pictures of these birds is to show them in a completely different way. I want to show them in a way that we don't normally get to see them. And what I can do and what I try to do is show them in their beauty of flight. That's what I really like to do. Or getting up close to them and showing the details. So a lot of the pictures that are the favorite pictures that I take are pictures where the feathers have been frozen in some kind of a contortion or some kind of mechanics of their flight. And people don't get to see that because their wing flaps are so fast. It's just a blur. We can't register that. It's just such fast movement. But when I can freeze it with a fast shutter speed or with lights, it really, I think, accentuates the beauty of flight and the beauty of the birds. And people haven't been able to see that. They don't typically see that. They may see it with eagles or cranes or some other kind of natural bird that people typically will see in wildlife photography, but people don't care about pigeons to do that. There's not going to be a wildlife photographer going to go out and shoot pictures of pigeons like that, so I'm going to do it. And it seems like once you reach a point, it just keeps growing and growing, and Facebook is well over 11,000 now, Instagram's over 5,000, and all over the world. It's not just domestic here in America, it's all over the planet. I'll tell you, it's interesting. It's been a really interesting education for me in social media because I've learned a lot about how social media works, how to get the followers, where they're coming from. So it's been a really good education for me also that I can then use in the class to help talk about multimedia use and visuals use in social media on the web, because I'm practicing it myself and experiencing it myself. I always have a camera on me, whether it's my phone or the other camera, and they're just so beautiful. I mean, why wouldn't I be taking pictures of them always, whether it's in the loft or outside the loft or while I'm training or any of that?